So, good day everyone. So, today I am going to talk about transcreation and art appreciation. So, first, what is transcreation means? So, by definition itself, transcreation comes from the words translation and creation. It means recreating an existing artwork in a new and creative way while keeping its original message, emotion, and essence alive. So it refers to the process of recreating an artwork or message in a new and imaginative way while keeping the essence, emotions, and intent of the original intact. Next slide, please. So what is transcreation in art appreciation? So transcreation isn't about simply copying a masterpiece. It's about transforming it so that it speaks a new audience, time, or culture. So later, makita na to if unsay pasabot sa translating it to speak a new audience, times, or culture. So next slide, please. But before we proceed to the example, let let's let's dive into the origin of transcreation. So transcreation in the 1960s and 70s, translators realized that they need to tailor their content for other countries. Considering cultural mores today, transcreation has moved on considerably. So it's now a pivotal part of capturing consumers' attention in foreign markets. Next slide. So for example of transgression art, we all know we all know the famous painting of Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. So some artists makes a new version where she's taking a selfie or wearing modern clothes. So as we can see before, they use the traditional clothes, while now they they copy the image but using the modern or wearing the modern clothes. So from the word transcreation, gi-translate nila ang mga naanay mga art before pero ila lang muragi transform into the girelate nila sa karon na generation. So for example, ang kana sa picture ni Mona Lisa, more siya ganang ginarelate sa atong generation karon, which is ang kanang mga or mga tawo murag ginakuan sa karon nga generation kay wala man tay cellphone sa una. So murag gi-relate nila, murag art siya sa una, nya mura siya giusab pero nagyapon siya gikuha from picture itself before. Next slide please. Please. So next slide please. So another example is Van Gogh's Starry Night. So some people remake it using digital art lights or even coffee. It still shows the beauty and emotion, but in the new fun way. So from the picture itself before, makita na to nga ang original art kay murag mas gipanindot niya, mas gipanindot ni sa karon na generation, pero murag gikuhaan ra gyapon og katong picture sa murag gikuhaan ra gyapon nila og idea ang sa una jud na picture. So bali murag ang transcreation is kanang murag gitransform nimo ang sa una nga art into a unique or different na murag mas moangay karon nga culture. Pero same ra gyapon siya sa kanang gikuhaan og katong sa art kung asa to originally, pero gi gimurag na siya giusab unya gibagay niya sa culture nato karon. Kay kanang murag sa una magod kay lahi-lahi mo jud kanang culture, pero sa kanang murag ang katong gikuhaan nila nga art murag na siya giusab, pero murag nag-serve ra to as base or nang inspiration ra to create new art nga mobagay sa karon nga generation. So if you're wondering why transcreation is important, it is because it helps all the artworks stay alive and meaningful for new generation rather. So as I mentioned gaina, murag nagkuha ra sila from original kay para dili gyapon mawa ang kanang dili gyapon mawa ang kanang unsay way of art before. Pero naa gyapon murag murag bitaw gi-merge or gi-combine ang kanang fashion sa before og kanang karon nga art depend sa culture. So murag nagkuha ta og usa ka art which is katong example gay na nga Mona Lisa, pero gikuan siya nga murag gibagay siya sa kanang or transform siya unya gibagay siya sa kanang karon pitang mga generation. So it is kanang through transcreation, artists and viewers can explore how the same themes or emotions like love, struggle, or beauty can be expressed in different styles and contexts. And consult. For example, a classical painting might inspire a digital artwork for street mural and reflects today's society while honoring the original message.
So now let's proceed to the transcription in art. So the differences between transcription and translation. So translation is the process of converting text or content from one language into another language while retaining the original meaning and intended message as closely as possible to convey the information, ideals, and nuances of the source text accurately and clearly in the target language. So basically, translation is about being literal. The focus is on accuracy, on making a faithful one-to-one copy, while transcreation, a process in the field of language, services where content is not just translated from one language to another, but also creatively adapted to suit the cultural and emotional context of the target audience to ensure that the content resonates with the local audience in a way that maintains the same emotional impact, intent, and engagement as the original content. So, so transcreation, all about creative reinterpretation. The focus shifts from pure accuracy to emotion. The goal isn't just to copy something, it's to evoke the exact same feeling that the original gave you. The important part is you aren't just changing the medium, say for example, a book to a movie. You are absolutely committed to preserving the core of the original, its soul, its feeling, its entire purpose, even as you're giving it a completely new body to live in. So there is a method to the madness of the artist who do this really well. They follow a few key principles to make sure that reimagining truly hits the mark. First is preserve soul. Keep the original work's core emotion and intent intact. So it's basically the core emotion they're focusing on. Next is add freedom. Allow the artist to express their own perspective and style. The artist needs total creative freedom to bring their own voice and style. Next is adapt culture. To ensure that the message connects with a new audience or context, making sure that the message still connects with the people today, respecting the original, and unleashing bold new expressions. So the best way to understand dance creation is to see it in action. It's not limited to one thing. It is everywhere. So this is the forms of dance creation. Reinterpreting classical artworks into modern context. When a classical painting gets a modern twist, adapting literature or poetry into film. When a poem is turned into a movie, turning a painting into a performance piece. When a painting is transformed into a live performance piece. Lastly is remixing cultural symbols for social messaging. Here is an example of transcreation. So first is the McDonald's slogan, I'm loving it. But in Spain, it is translated into or like translated into Me Encanta. Next is the film Terminator 2, Judgment Day, the iconic catchphrase, Hasta la vista, baby, was translated to Sayonara, baby. Next is the Red Bull brand packaging was changed in China markets. As you can see in the left side, it is the original packaging of the Red Bull, while in the right side, this is the Red Bull in China. So basically, they add they follow the key principles. We add freedom since the artists they tawag ka na, they they make the packaging as like their own voice and their own style, and also it adapt cultures. In China, gold and red it means luck, and basically you can see it that the label is in Chinese.
For the application in visual arts, there are three key elements. For the first key element, translation in visual arts, a process that goes beyond simple translation to adapt a piece of creative content from one culture to another, while preserving its original intent, tone, emotional impact, and core message. Is a fusion of translation and creation that recognizes the limitation of a literal word for word or element for element transfer, especially when dealing with art where context and cultural resonance are everything. Next slide. For the application in visual arts, there are three key elements. For the first key element, narrative and description. The linguistic explanation title or museum plaques accompanying a piece of art must be adapted to help a new audience understand the artist, vision, and cultural influences. Translator adapt descriptions to new audiences, ensuring culturally equivalent expressions as direct translation may not be effective. For the second element, visual and symbols. Visual and symbols, the art may be conceptually adapted to reflect cultural differences, such as the use of colors and symbols with negative or unintended meaning. For example, the difference between white as purity versus white as mourning. For the third element, context and medium, involves reimagining an original work in a different context or medium to preserve its essence and creator's intention, ensuring it successfully crosses cultural barriers. For example, transforming an ancient painting into digital art.
Next is understanding transcreation and performing. Next slide, please. So, what is transcreation and performance? Transcreation and performance is the adaptation of a message, script, or presentation to ensure it resonates with a specific audience. It basically means it's like changing a show to make it really click with a new crowd, not just by swapping words, but making it feel right for them. Next slide. So these are the things to consider for transcreation and performing. Number one is audience. Understanding who you're performing for is crucial. You need to know their values, beliefs, and experiences to tailor the performance effectively. Second is collaboration. Transcreation often involves working with people from different cultural backgrounds. This ensures you are not making assumptions or misinterpreting cultural elements. Next is context. Consider the social, historical, and political environment in which the performance will take place. This helps you avoid unintentional offense or misrepresentation. Next is delivery. Think about how the performance is presented, the style, tone, and medium. It needs to be aligned with the audience preferences and expectations. And lastly is cultural nuances. We should be aware of subtle cultural differences that might not be obvious. This can significantly impact how the performance is received. Next. So these are the processes of transcreation and performing. Number one is project overview and objectives. This clearly define what the project aims to achieve and the specific goals you have in mind. Second is target audience. Detail who your target audience is, including their demographics, preferences, and cultural nuances. Third is brand guidelines and of voice. Provide guidelines on how your brand should be represented, including tone, style, and key messaging points. Fourth is source content and reference materials. Include the original content and any reference materials that can help the transcreation team understand the context. Fifth is desired outcome and specify what success look like and how it will be measured. And lastly is timeline and deadlines. Outline the project timeline including key milestones and final deadlines. Next. So these are the example of transcreation and performance. Number one is theater, music and advertising, film and TV, and speeches and presentations. Next. Transcreation is essential for effective communication in a performance settings, as it allows performers to connect with the audience in a deep and more meaningful level. This means transcreation is key for performers to connect deeply with a new audience. making communication more effective. So now we will discuss about understanding transcreation in literature and film. Next slide, please. So we will discuss about literature. So transcreation in literature is it says about in literature transcreation means reimagining written works for new audiences that not just translating words but the soul of the story. So basically in the illustration shows that in this example is ang first is no limitang here which is a words pa siya like kanang it constructed by words pa first and then uh, little by little na form siya kanang like novel. So kanang transcreation in literature means that kanang i-translate mo ang words into a story for that the kanang ang mga tao is kanang mas dali na lang bitaw nila masabtan. So mo na No Limit Ang Here adapted into graphic novels and modern English editions. So next slide please. Next is transcreation in film. So for this, films like transcreation occurs when stories cross cultures or formats like adapting books into movies or foreign films into local version. So easy na ni sa example, it shows that kaning first photo is kanang adapted to I originally made from a Filipino movie and then it adapted into Korean. I know bali. So Miss Granny di ay kay kanang gikan siya sa Korean and then like kanang sani oy gi-remake siya as a Filipino version. So mo na siya transcreation in film. It can adapt into many culture like cross cultures or formats like pwede ka makahulam bitaw sa um unsa ni kanang movie ana na style. So next please. So to sum up why transcreation matters. Transcreation lets us keep stories alive across time and culture and make art more relatable and emotional. Third is bridge the gap between creators and global audiences. So that's all.
featuring different musical genres. Next, please. Next, featuring different musical genres. Music has evolved through different historical periods, reflecting how people lived, felt, and expressed themselves. Each era of music shows changes in instruments, rhythm, and emotional depth, proving that music grows along with human culture. Next, medieval period. Characterized by Gregorian chants and polyphonic melodies, focus and on spirituality and worship in churches. Example, Kyrie eleison. Medieval music was mainly sacred and sung by monks in Latin. It didn't use harmony or instruments much, just pure voices to create a spiritual, peaceful mood. This period laid the foundation for Western music. Renaissance period, marked by harmony, polyphony, and expressive composition. Music became more emotional and human-centered. Example, Ave Maria. Renaissance music celebrated both faith and human emotion. Composers explored blending voices and instruments beautifully, creating fuller sounds, music also become part of daily life, not just religion. Next. Baroque period, known for dramatic contrast and ornamentation. Com- composers used complex melodies and emotions. Example, the Four Seasons. Baroque music expressed deep emotion and grandeur. It introduced strong rhythms and elaborate melodies. The music was full of passion and performed in palace and church to inspire awe and power. Classical period focused on form, balance, and clarity. Birth of birth of the symphony and sonata. Example, classic musical valued simplicity and elegance. Composers aimed for harmony and structure, making music easy to listen to and emotionally controlled. It reflected the ideals of logic and beauty during the age of enlightenment. Romantic period emphasized emotion, imagination, and individuality, inspired by love, nature, and passion. Example, symphony. Romantic music broke the rules of form to express raw emotion. It was dramatic, passionate, and personal. Composers told stories through their music, capturing feelings like joy, sadness, and freedom. Philippine folk music reflects Filipino traditions, values, and daily life. Uses native instruments like kulintang, bandurria, and guitar. Example, Bahay Kubo, Pamulinawin, and Tinikling. Philippine folk music connects people to their roots. Each region has its own songs and dances that tell stories about love, work, nature, and community. It is passed down through generations and keeps Filipino identity alive. Why it matters? Each genre shows how music is created through time. Old emotions reborn in the new styles and cultures. Music is a living art, always evolving, yet keep its heart. Studying musical genres help us appreciate how creativity never stops. Transcreation and music allows old sounds to inspire new ones, reminding us that art continues to change, but its power to move us stays the same.
The challenges in transcreation. Maintaining brand consistency. It aims to protect global brand equity while maximizing local effectiveness. This requires a delicate balance to ensure the message resonates with the local audience without straying too far from the original brand identity. Cultural nuances. Languages contain nuances, idioms, and connotations that are only accessible to native speakers. Integrating localization into the adaptation plan from the beginning is crucial to avoid inconsistencies. Next, measuring effectiveness. Companies often fail to generate data and metrics on the effectiveness of localized versions of their campaigns. This data is essential for pinpointing weak points and raising the quality bar in each market. Next, lack of formal processes. Many companies lack a formal process to maximize efficiency and repurposing when adapting content into multiple languages. This can result in lower quality, stretched timelines, and increased cost. Time constraints. Localizing content can often start after after the original version is complete, which can be too late to address potential issues. Next, accuracy versus cultural sensitivity. Balancing the need for accurate translation with the need to adapt content culturally is a common ethical dilemma. A marketing message that is acceptable in one culture may be offensive in another, requiring translators to make decisions about modifying the text. Transparency with clients. Translators must be transparent about their capabilities, the likelihood of meeting deadlines, and the potential need for third party involvement. Transparency builds trust but must be balanced with business interests and competitive pressures. Next, fair employment practices. The translation industry is known for dubious practices, so it's important to commit to fair and responsible employment. Ensuring fair wages and that the majority of earnings go to the skilled team helps attract and retain talent. Avoiding misinterpretation. A translation is unethical if it doesn't truly convey the intent of the author or fulfill the original purpose of the text. Deliberate modification of the original message to meet social, political, or pseudo-moral restrictions is also unethical. Next, cultural appropriation. Translators must be aware of the potential for cultural appropriation when adapting content for a new audience. This requires a deep understanding of the target culture and sensitivity to its values and beliefs.
So, in conclusion, the power of transcreation. Transcreation keeps art alive by connecting the past with the present in a creative and meaningful way. It's not just about copying an artwork, but reimagining, reimagining it so that new audience can relate to its message, emotion, and beauty. Through this process, artists honor the original while adding their own creativity, style, and cultural perspective. Transcreations helps the ideas stay fresh, relevant, and inspiring. It bridges generation and cultures, showing the art is not static but constantly evolving. By blending imagination with respect for tradition, transcreation proves that art continues to grow, adapt, and touch people in every time and place.